Hey everybody, this week we're going to do some observation practice of infants and toddlers now that you've learned all about their cognitive development, their physical development, and this week their social emotional development. You're going to virtually observe some and see how they match up to the different milestones. So even though we haven't really learned about observation and assessment yet, that's okay. This is a completely safe way to do it. And since it's virtual and it's some good practice for the observations that you will be doing for your key assessment. So let's take a look at this week's assignment. Okay, so for this assignment, you will observe the developmental milestones of an infant and a toddler through video clips. Your goal is to identify and assess the developmental milestones related to gross motor, fine motor, cognitive, language, and social emotional development. So those are kind of broken down more. These are both physical, right? These are both cognitive and language are both cognitive. And then we've got social emotional development. So start by carefully reading the assignment details and the evaluation rubric to ensure you understand the requirements. For part 1, you're going to watch a 2-minute and 10-second video of an infant and observe for specific developmental milestones, referencing the checklists that are provided for different ages. Then you're going to mark the milestones you observe and summarize your observations in each developmental area. For part 2, you're going to do the same thing, but using 2 toddler clips. Again, use the checklists, write a summary. So you'll notice these are not very long, but you're going to see how much you can learn about a child in just a little amount of time. So this is your document. You will download it and make it yours, and you'll submit your responses within this document. Okay, so before you begin, it tells you to read this completely. So you're going to watch this video, and there aren't subtitles, but this tells you a little bit about what's going on. And then you're going to find 3 checklists, even though it tells you that I've forgotten how old Abby is. I believe Abby is around 9 months old. And so that is why what you have here, yeah, Abby's 9 months old. And so I've given you a checklist for 9-month-olds, right? But sometimes even 9-month-olds do things that are still on the 6-month-old checklist, or sometimes they might be already doing things that are on the 12-month-old checklist. So I've given you all 3. And it tells you to watch the video, and then you're going to watch it again with all of these in mind. Okay, so yeah, just watch the video, check off anything that Abby is doing. Okay. I just noticed this typo that says 2 months of age. That should say 9. We're on the 9-month-old checklist. Not sure why I have 2 there. Sorry. Anyway, so you're going to watch the video and check the milestones for Abby. Then you're going to summarize what you observed using the milestones you were able to check off and what you've learned about development in chapters 4 through 6, as we've talked about cognitive, physical, and social emotional, that might not be represented on these checklists. That might not be represented by Abby, like you didn't check them, that's why they're not on the checklist, but what you've learned. Summarize what you observed about each of these areas of development. Your summaries should be at least a paragraph long, address several milestones, and include information that you saw related to each domain that is not included in the milestones checklist. So maybe there are things that you've learned throughout your reading about cognitive development that isn't on this checklist, and you saw Abby doing. So here's an example, and it means you don't have to do it for this one. So gross motor development. Abby is able to sit with stability on both her bottom and on her folded legs. So hopefully these are things that you check off on the checklist. She uses arm motions to bang the bucket, clap her hands, and wave. She is able to lift and turn the bucket to dump it out. She attempts to stand. She crawls with skill. She shows her sensory capacities in hearing by turning towards sounds and responding to the song. She shows her sensory capacities in sight by looking at the caregivers and toys. So This includes things that are on the checklist that she does and things that are not on the checklist that she does. Now, it doesn't get age specific here, but I think probably if I were writing this, I guess I should have included this the first time. I wasn't thinking, but now that I'm reading it again, I'm thinking, well, I would have put, Abby does this, which is on par with a 9-month-old. She's a little bit delayed in this, which is like a 6-month-old, or she's advanced in this, which is like a 12-month-old. So just some observations I definitely should have changed this to. But you can fix it when you do it for fine motor development, cognitive development, language development, and social emotional development. Then you're going to do the very same thing with toddler development, and you have 2 just barely over 1-minute clips. So again, you're going to be amazed by how much you can learn in just a little amount of time. And I did not say this, sorry, when I was looking at these. I just reminded when I saw it down here. When you're using these checklists, put an X if it's something that you completely observed them doing, or P if you only able to partially observe them doing it. So same thing. These are videos of a toddler. And so what we've done is given you 3 checklists. We've got 12-month-old, 18-month-old, and 2-year-old, because this is where we're at, but maybe we're still doing some of these things, and that's okay. Or maybe we're already doing some of these things. And then again, based on what you check off, you're going to write summaries here. Based on what you check off and what you know from the chapters also relate to these. So the videos are not very long, and then you just need to write these paragraphs. So that is this assignment. As always, please reach out if you have any questions during my office hours, or send me a Canvas inbox message anytime you'd like.